Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at a PC which I've built very recently, one of our live streams, which we'll link in the video description, so you can check it out and see some of the things which caught us out when doing this build. As with anything, when you're trying to save money on a bargain basement budget PC, there's always going to be some little things which are going to catch you out, and this was no exception, so I do strongly suggest you check that video out. But for those of you who just want to know the facts and figures, we're going to go through today, show you all the parts that we've used and the prices we paid, and give you some ideas of what you could potentially do for somewhere under the £400 mark for a gaming PC at the end of 2023. So without further ado, let's head over to the computer, take a look at PC Part Picker and look at some of the components. So this is a rundown of the parts which have been used. Now there is a mixture of used and new parts, but I want to do this video just to show what is possible and also to highlight some of the parts we've used, which potentially you might be able to pick up as very good pricing. Now, we are at the moment in the kind of Black Friday-ish sales, so some of these prices have been artificially raised, then lowered, so kind of do take this with somewhat of a pinch of salt of what you can actually achieve yourselves, but hopefully it does give you some ideas and also some products that you might want to look out for in the future. So starting off, we've got the Ryzen 5 3600. We actually picked this up as a deal. The processor, the motherboard, and the RAM. We managed to pick up all those three from Dave from our Discord for £115, which I think was an excellent deal. Not extraordinary, potentially you may be able to replicate this. The hardest one is possibly going to be the motherboard, but you might get lucky. So the processor, we paid £45 for. This is a pretty common price for this processor now, somewhere between the £40 and £50 mark. Sometimes you can pick them up as low as 30. Still a really nice little processor. Boost speeds up to 4.2 GHz, overclockable as well. All core boosts up to somewhere about 4 GHz, 4.1 GHz, depending on your system. But for the money, an absolutely cracking processor. Now to keep this cool, we've gone with something a little bit nice, the Thermalright Assasin X Refined SE ARGB. This is currently available for about £20 on Amazon.co.uk. We've actually reviewed this one previously, so you can check out the video for that. Very nice little cooler, very easy to install. Does a fantastic job and is very low noise. The motherboard is somewhat of a modern classic, so this is the MSI B450 Gaming Pro Carbon AC. The slightly older version, not the max version, which is the new updated one, but still an absolutely cracking board and was the cream of the crop back in the B450 era. This was the board that people aspired to, and to be honest with you, I still do now. The fact that we picked this up for a really good price of about £50 is fantastic. But you can pick up other B450 boards and even B550 boards on the used market for around the £40 to £100 mark, depending on what you're looking at. Next up is the RAM. Now the RAM is going to be kind of generic on this. It worked out we paid about £20 for this. Currently, if you bought this brand new, the Corsair Vengeance LPX 16GB 2x8GB kit with the DDR4 3200 CL16, they're actually on offer at the moment at £30 for the pair. So not an absolutely amazing saving there, but certainly it's better than nothing. The Corsair Vengeance RAM is tried and tested, so you can't go too far wrong. Again, the same is going to apply. If you can pick up similar sort of RAM, similar sort of prices, I would strongly suggest go for it. Now the next one is going to be something which is always going to be in flux, and that is the storage. Now we've just actually seen on our Discord today, there was a 1TB SSD drive which was going for about £25. So if you really are trying to scrape all the pennies you possibly can, then maybe go for a 2.5-inch drive. I've opted on this one to go with the M.2 drive just to make the build look a little bit cleaner, which you've possibly seen already, and it is pretty darn clean. You can pick up these at the moment, the Solidigyms or similar, for around about £33. Now if we could take a look at Amazon here, this is a really random brand which seems to be actually kind of global at the moment. This is called Thickwatt. Sounds like something from Shrek, but the Thickwatt FN950, this is the 2TB version. They were actually selling the 1TB version of this, it's actually sold out now, for £33, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I say actually the 2TB for £80 is still a pretty good deal, so do keep a lookout for this brand. It's quite interesting. It does appear they've got some decent warranties, like 5-year warranties for these drives, which is insane. I'm yet to try one, but yeah, something to definitely keep in the back of your mind when you're looking for those budget drives. Anyway, back to our list. So graphics card, I've gone with another tried and tested option. I actually picked this one up from a company called gpus.co.uk. Little bit more than you'd pay on the used market, just very slightly, but it is coming from essentially a company, so you do have some form of warranty with it. This is the EVGA SC Gaming GeForce GTX 1070 8GB, which you've probably seen for some B-roll. Nice little card. EVGA did make some really pretty cards. This one we paid about £110 for, which I think at the time actually wasn't too bad. You can get them slightly less now. The run up to Christmas, I can envisage these getting a little bit more expensive as people try to put together those flip builds for the holiday seasons. But I think this is kind of the minimum you want to go for these days. 1070 8GB, 8 gigs of RAM is going to be good for most games. The 1070's still got a little bit of grunt, so 1080p gaming is going to be pretty straightforward. 1440p with some titles will be an option with lower settings. Now, as you've probably seen from the B-roll, we've put this all into actually a really nice looking case. So this is the Kolink Observatory, the HF mesh in white, $52.99. This was from overclockers.co.uk. You can see here, so $52.99 including VAT. Really nice looking case. The only thing I don't like particularly about this is the fans. For me personally, as someone who creates video content, I do find the fans to be a little bit louder than I would personally like. But the case itself, really nice to work with. Very few problems. The only problems I had with it personally would be trying to get the EPS cable through the top was a little bit on the tight side because you've got a fan in the way here from the factory, and the cable management is a little bit challenging. It's a little bit slim in the back, but it all went together very nicely. Again, if you want to see how the build went in this case, check out the live stream, which will be listed in the video description. But I feel £53 for this, 6 fans, nice case, flip out side door. You can't really ask for more. Going back to our list here, so I've thrown in £4.50 for a Windows 11 professional license. Clearly, if you want to get that, you've got to shop around a little bit, and you don't really have to shop around too much, because if you've been a member or if you've been one of our subscribers or you just watched the channel for a while, you'll know that we use premiumcdkeys.com, where you can pick up your Windows 10 Pro licenses and your Windows 11 licenses for about £4.50 after the exchange rate from euros to UK pounds. And of course, if you're buying in dollars, you may be paying up to about $5, but still excellent prices, very highly recommended. Pretty much everyone on our Discord, once they've actually found out about them, will end up using them. It's a great way of saving a little bit of money and also getting rid of that annoying watermark. Now, the last one is the power supply. Now, some of you are going to be sick in your whatever, in your cornflakes, watching this, thinking, Mike, what are you doing? But this actually power supply seems to be the real deal. So this is a company called Goldenfield. I've seen these a lot on Amazon. So it's the Erzeyes, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. A little bit of West Country going in there. The semi-modular 80 plus bronze ATX power supply, 650 watts is what it's rated for. It's bronze rated, so it has got some efficiency and it has had to pass some tests to get the bronze certification on there. Currently, this is going for £33 on Amazon, which we've got here on our tab. So if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get this for, actually it's gone down a little bit more. It's now down to £31.67. I'm going to order another one of these as soon as I finish this stream. If you're not an Amazon Prime member, the non-Prime member's price is going to be $57.60, which is a little bit more than I would pay for a kind of slightly less well-known brand of a 650 watt semi-modular, but prices are getting absolutely crazy with power supplies. So for £33, this actually got a couple of year warranty on it as well. It seems to be the real deal. It's got all the usual stuff, over voltage, under voltage, over current protection, over power protection, short circuit protection, and over temperature protection. So it's got the kind of things that you would expect to see from some of the bigger players. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, and it does seem to be a genuine 650 watt 12 volt rail, which is always very welcome to see. So yeah, if you want to pick up one of those, I would suggest you do. I've got this one in this PC. It's very quiet, the fan is a very, very low noise, and again, for this sort of price, this is what we would have been paying maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, for things like the, well, I'm trying to think which ones it was now, it's been so long since we've bought them. You'd be looking at things like the CIT ATV 500 watt, and also things like the Aerocool integrator, the Aerocool Cylons, maybe the Game Max Rampage 500 watts, but you wouldn't get a 650 watt semi-modular bronze rated for £31. It's just unheard of. So yeah, some of you have already seen this in our Discord in the bargain section. If you have, I hope you picked up a deal. I'm definitely going to pick up another one. I'm pretty happy with it overall. So anyway, that wraps up all of the components that we've used and why. Our total here at the moment, £368.49. Potentially, I would consider maybe changing the fans, swapping those out for something, even something like the Thermalright, the TLC 12Cs, a 3-pack for like £15. Maybe splash out and get 6 of those for £30, rounding this up to like £400, and I think you'll get much better noise profile out of those fans. But saying that, the fans that are in here, you've got 3 120mm, 3 140mm. It does move a lot of air. It seems to keep things nice and cool as well. Our CPU is maxing out around about 60 degrees Celsius on this cooler, which is excellent conditions. So there you go, there are the whys and wherefores of how this PC come to be. I think it's actually a really nice little unit. I've been doing some testing today, doing the installation, getting the drivers done, all that kind of stuff, installing Windows. I'm yet to install our Windows license key, but we'll be doing that shortly. But overall, yeah, I think it's really nice. For £400, there's a lot of processing power here. The GTX 1070 8GB is still a phenomenal card for the money. It's really hard to argue against it, unless you can pick up an absolute bargain somewhere. I wouldn't really suggest going down the RX 580 or 570 route now. I think those now, driver-wise, are lacking support, at least with the 1070, 1080s, that sort of stuff. Even the 1060s, they are still being supported by NVIDIA, and potentially will be for a considerable while longer, which is always nice. Power supply-wise, again, a little bit dubious on that, but it's worked out really nicely. The wiring, again, very nice, flat cables. The only thing which is a slight distraction for me are some of the cables have got these red ends on, which is a little bit unfortunate. Although saying that, I think it ties in quite nicely. In here we've got the Team Red going on with our AMD processor, our AMD motherboard, so we've got a few splashes of red in there just to break it up a little bit, which I think actually looks pretty nice overall. But let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and also let me know what you think about some of the choices of components we've used on this. Would you buy this from me for around about £400? Let me know, I'll be very interested. Hopefully by the time this video goes out, this PC will be in the ownership of somebody else and potentially will be enjoyed by someone at Christmas time. Let's hope so. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have, smash the like button. If you want to see more content like this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button and the chime button, and that way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.